I was completely surprised by the 15-minute informational video for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that came out yesterday. I did not see that coming. I thought it was really cool to see the Joker gameplay. I thought it was really cool to see the 3.0 update. I love how Joker is going to control. I love the stage editor. It all looks amazing. That stage editor just looks so deep with the moving backgrounds and the layers. I love that. I'm really excited about it. And Joker seems even cooler than I initially expected. I love that down B, how you can even do it during combos, that when you're getting hit by them. It's all really cool. And that Memento stage, how it changes colors with the music. Oh man, it's beautiful. But I feel like this information has some implications for both the future DLC characters for Smash Ultimate and a potential April Nintendo Direct, or lack thereof. So let's get into it. Now, first of all, one interesting thing that I noticed about the 3.0 update, it does not include Home Run Contest. Now, initially, I was thinking that we would see both Home Run Contest and the stage editor because of the data mine that included both. We just got the stage editor, and it looks like they're doing a great job with it. It looks really deep, at least deeper than previous stage editors, so I'm not complaining one bit. This is exciting. This is more than enough, more than I expected for an update. It's great. But I am thinking this Home Run Contest is still in the works and will be coming later down the road, maybe with the 4.0 update with the next DLC challenger. That's a possibility. And considering that, I feel like the question should also be raised, does that mean we can maybe be seeing other modes being added as well besides Stage Editor and Home Run Contest? I think that's an option. I think as things progress, they will continually work on Smash Brothers, so we could be seeing more new modes added with every significant update for Smash Ultimate. Maybe. We'll see how things turn out, of course, but it is at least interesting to see how we're getting the Stage Editor, and I do think at least we'll be getting Home Run Contest later down the road. Another interesting thing that people have been pointing out, and I didn't notice at first because I'm not a Persona fan, so I didn't know, but apparently Jack Frost is not in the Memento stage. Now, what makes that interesting is that Jack Frost was rumored to be in the Memento stage for the Joker content, and that's pretty much been debunked. Now, the thing is, that rumor also included Erdrick as being the next character for the DLC. And now that rumor has been debunked, so maybe Erdrick is not as likely anymore. I do agree with that, but I'm also not going to jump off the bandwagon because that's just one piece of supporting evidence. There's a lot of other pieces of evidence that support Erdrick being in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Dragon Quest XI's is coming out later this year. It's being published by Nintendo. There was that Instagram post with the Brave name, with the Dragon Quest shield, and of course we saw the Brave name in the data mine for Smash Ultimate. So I do think Erdrick still has a really good shot, but I do think he's a little bit less likely than beforehand. I do think that kind of opens up the door for other possibilities. Maybe Sora from Kingdom Hearts, maybe Geno from Super Mario RPG. Those would be really epic to see as well. The point being, we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. And I love that. I love to be surprised. When we were at the Game Awards and we saw the Joker, even though I never played Persona, I was hyped because it looked really cool and I was surprised. I didn't see it coming, and I love that. I love to be surprised. Not knowing what's going to happen makes things really interesting. So if the next DLC character is Erdrick, most of us are just going to be like, yep, we saw that coming. I don't want to see it coming. So hopefully this is the case, and hopefully we are surprised with the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC moving forward. Now let's talk about an April Nintendo Direct maybe still happening, maybe not still happening. So the thing is, we got a lot of information with this Smash non-direct, right? A lot of people thought, myself included, that we would see this kind of information in a general Nintendo Direct. It was 15 minutes of information and it was separate. So maybe they just wanted to keep it separate because that would be just too much information to fit into a Nintendo Direct. It would make it too long. Maybe, or maybe they just don't think it's necessary to have a Nintendo Direct this month and they had this instead. That's also a possibility. But just because we got all of this Smash information, I don't think that completely discounts the possibility that we can get an April Nintendo Direct this month. We still have to consider the history of Nintendo Directs. Usually we get 2 major Nintendo Directs before E3, and usually when there's one in February, it makes sense for the other to be in April. So I still think that's a possibility. We did see the Best Buy listing that had Persona 5, Metroid Prime Trilogy, and A Link to the Past. I do think Persona 5 can maybe just be announced next week with the Persona event and not during a Direct. But it also could end up being both, where we see Persona 5 at this event, but also it's announced at Nintendo Direct next week. That's a possibility, but also maybe not. It could just be Persona announced later this month. When it comes to Metroid Prime Trilogy, I think it makes sense for it to be announced in Nintendo Direct. I've personally been hoping that it would be announced in a Nintendo Direct this month and that it would come out next month in May, because it is just a port or remaster of a trilogy that's already been out for years. And it would make sense because there are currently no published Nintendo games slated for the month of May, and considering the history and trends of how many published Nintendo games we see every year, which would be about 21 give or take 3, you would think that they would want to put at least one game in the month of May when the second half of 2019 is already looking so packed. There are gonna be months this year where we will see 2 or 3 published Nintendo games come out at the same time. And then of course with the Link to the Past listing, I do think that's probably just some sort of a download code or something, if it's even based off anything real or tangible. But we have seen evidence that there are plans to include some sort of Super Nintendo content in the future for the Switch. So maybe that's also in the works, and that maybe could be something that could be announced really soon, and maybe that Link to the Past listing is a hint towards that. On top of that, with the recent 8.0 update for the Nintendo Switch, we saw that they changed the name for the Save Data Cloud backup to just Save Data Cloud, which could imply that that could be used for more than just backing things up. And considering that the update also now allows us to transfer our game save data to other Nintendo Switches, that's really interesting. To me, it seems to suggest that Nintendo's gearing up and changing around the ecosystem for the Nintendo Switch to include different versions of the Nintendo Switch. And considering the multiple reports coming from the Wall Street Journal, from Nikkei, that there will be revisions for both a smaller Switch and a more deluxe Pro Switch coming out later this year, perhaps even as early as summertime, it would make sense to announce it a couple months beforehand, and April would be a couple months before summertime. Of course, it could be later summertime, it could maybe not even be summertime, it could be more like fall, so they wouldn't have to announce it in April, but I do think it's worth noting. So considering the history of Nintendo Directs and how there's usually at least 2 before E3, considering that we had the Best Buy listing with Metroid Prime Trilogy, Persona 5, and A Link to the Past, and supposedly we're going to get some sort of Super Nintendo content at some point on the Switch, and the 8.0 update, I know it could be suggesting that the Switch revisions might not be that far off. I do think it's still possible we could be seeing an April Nintendo Direct, but we are running out of time. And, well, I mean, we just got all of that Smash information, so I do think it's a little less likely now. I'm not as confident as beforehand, but I think it's possible, and there have been some leakers suggesting it could still happen in the second half of 2019. Will it though? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. This is AndresRestart. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're new here or you just haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe if you love Nintendo content, and leaving a like would be greatly appreciated. That's all, everyone. Thank you so much, and I'll see you all really soon. Bye.